Hey everyone, so I've been having a lot of fun recently playing Marvel Snap, and so I've tried to get some of my friends to play it, and I've noticed a lot of similar questions and concerns they've had about the game, and they seem sort of hesitant to try it out. So I figured it'd be helpful to make a video and just fill it with as much information as I can to help you decide for yourself if you should play Marvel Snap. And so I think to start off, I should explain what is Marvel Snap. And so if you already know how it works, or you don't really care how it works, you just want to skip to the conclusion or something, I'm going to have timestamps below for you to skip ahead. Yeah, so Snap is a mobile card game, so it's designed to have very fast games. There are usually only 6 turns in every game, and you and your opponent make your moves simultaneously. You each get to make a move. You can't see what the opponent is doing, but you have to make a decision and lock it in, and once you've both locked in your decision and said you'll end the turn, then they both flip up. And so there are 3 different lanes in the game for you to play your cards into, and there'll be a location in the middle of each one. And those locations are randomly decided each game, so every game will play at least a little bit differently regardless of the decks being played. And the way you win is by having more power than your opponent in at least 2 of the lanes. If you tie in one location and then you're winning one and your opponent's winning the third, then the winner will be decided by whoever has the biggest difference in the power in their winning lane. And so when you win, you get these cubes, and you use them to rank up. Each game starts off by default being worth 1 cube. On the last turn, the stakes double, and they end up being worth 2 cubes. However, you can choose to snap and double the odds yourself, so the stakes would go from being worth 2 earlier and then 4 on the final round. But then your opponent can do the same and snap as well, making it worth 4 early and 8 potentially on the last round. You can choose to surrender though at any point, and you'll only lose whatever the match is currently worth instead of what it will be worth. And so it reminds you of poker, since you can basically fold your bad hands or bad locations, and then you only end up losing 1 to 2 cubes. And you can even bluff by snapping at the right time and scaring your opponent into surrendering. And so this is a very fun part of the game, but honestly kind of scary. Because you can escape from bad games and you only lose 1 to 2 cubes, but when you make a really smart play, a good snap, and you win 4 to 8, it can feel so good. And yeah, so basically the losses don't feel that bad a lot of the time. If you only lose 1 cube, it's whatever, you don't really care. But then when you win 8 cubes, it feels so good. Which I think is part of the reason it becomes so addicting. And yeah, so it ends up feeling like gambling, but you can't financially destroy yourself or whatever. And now that I mention that, you're probably wondering about the monetization. And so I come from Legends of Runeterra, that's my primary card game I play. And it's so incredibly free to play friendly, I think that nothing really can compete with it, to be honest. But Snap definitely seems better than most others. You can get every single card in the game completely free to play. With that being said, it does have some things to explain. And so the way you unlock cards is with this thing called the collection level right here. And so it's this ladder system. You get different unlocks at different increments. And so some of the unlocks are of course cards. The only catch is that you can't actually choose a specific card to unlock. They're generated randomly with this mystery card. There's also these things called card pools. It's a specified bundle of cards that you can get, but the order in which you get them is random. So for example, you start off in pool 1, and there are 46 different cards you can unlock. And so everyone in pool 1 can only get the same 46 cards, but you'll get those 46 cards in different orders on your way up to 214 collection level. And so 214 will be the last card you unlock in pool 1. And so as soon as everyone reaches 214, they're going to have exactly the same cards as everyone else. And then you get to pool 2, which is up to 474. And so again, just to be clear, my first card in pool 2 was Warpath, but someone else might not unlock this card until the very last card in pool 2. And then finally at level 486 you'll be in pool 3. And so in pool 1 you have 46 cards you can unlock, pool 2 is I believe only 25 cards, and then pool 3 and onward is 75 different cards, and so more than both of them put together. And I believe it's where all the new cards are going to be added to in the future. And the way you advance your collection is with these things in the top left called credits. And so every 24 hours you're going to get 6 different missions, technically 2 missions every 8 hours. And they add up to a total of 450 credits per day. And then for some reason in the shop, you can actually get 50 free credits per day as well. And so that'll total 500 credits in a day. And so I've already completed these missions, but you get I think 5 missions a week that are connected to the season pass. And even if you don't buy the season pass, you can still complete them, and they give you experience towards the season pass. And I'll talk more about it in a bit, but the cool thing is that some of these things are actually unlockable without even buying the season pass. They're just for free, and some of them can be credits. You can also just buy credits with gold, and of course you can buy gold with real money, and if you actually use the gold to buy credits, I think these things have a limit of 3 times per day that you can buy them, but yeah, if you did put gold into these, you could speed up your collection level process. And because you only get 6 missions per day, if you run out of missions, you can actually refill more missions for 120 gold. I believe you can only do this 3 times per day as well. And each refill would give you 150 credits. Oh, also, you should keep in mind that you actually get matched against people with close to your same collection level. So you're not like disadvantaged if some people are like spending money to advance faster. You're not gonna really get matched into them. So there's no like pay to win element. And so each collection level ends up being worth 50 credits. Like this will be 2 collection level for 100 credits. The only exception is that with the gray cards, like when you first get a card, it'll start off gray, and the very first time you upgrade it, it's actually 1 collection level for only 25 credits. So it's basically like half price for the very first one you do on a card. And the other way you can spend your gold is with these variants. So every day in the shop, you're going to get 6 different new variant options that you can buy. These are just cosmetic options to change the art of your cards. And so they're just really fun ways to like get your deck to like stand out from other people's collections. But yeah, these aren't like the best options I would say of like tempting variants. Maybe I can put some like really cool ones on the screen. But yeah, for me personally, variants are like a really fun part of the game. I really like pimping my deck out and like separating mine from other people's. And so I mentioned the season pass earlier. It'll cost $10 and it's filled with like basically everything you'd want. Like credits, boosters. It actually gives you more gold than is actually worth in the shop to just buy gold outright. It can give you like mystery variants, and it'll give you like a new card every season. The giving you a card part is the main thing that might annoy some players. But I believe a month after the season ends, this card will be added to Pool 3 so that everyone can get it who are free to play. And so basically, as far as monetization goes, they basically just want you to buy the pass every month. And so that's personally what I plan on spending for the game, especially if I like the card and the variants. And so yeah, again, technically in the game you can pay a bunch of money to like advance your collection a bit, but they don't allow you to like get a full collection on day 1, because you can only buy a certain amount per day. And because you get matched against people with your similar collection level, there's no like competitive advantage to paying money. And so it seems super free to play friendly in my opinion. And so I believe that explains like how to play and like the monetization of the game. And so I want to talk about like some like concerns and like pros and cons about the game. When I first saw gameplay of Snap, I was like kind of scared. When I saw like the 3 lanes and the location in the middle, and then found out it was like random every game, I was like, oh, I hope this is just like a random game mode and it's not like the competitive format. Because it was just so different than like anything I've seen in a card game. From playing it though, I actually really enjoy it. I don't know if any of you guys have played like Teamfight Tactics, but every game they give you like 3 augments, and they'll have like varying different like benefits and incentives. And this feels very similar to me. Like because of them, every game plays at least slightly different, and it keeps the game from getting too stale. Like when you get a location that like really helps your deck, it can feel like a high roll and is really fun. I also feel like it's kind of cool for deck building because it incentivizes more like versatile cards, so you have the best chances of winning into like the most amount of locations. The other thing that seemed concerning to me was the deck size. I was like, how deep could the game be if your deck size is only 12? But this aspect actually surprised me in a positive way as well. I can't really say it's deeper than other games like Legends of Runeterra or anything, but it has way more depth than I thought was like possible. The sequencing of your cards in a turn to decide like which effects happen first is very important. Also, the priority of which player's cards are revealed first actually matters a lot as well. There also ends up being like a lot of different mind games to like maximize your cubes. Like you can just bluff at the right time to make your opponent think you have the nuts and just surrender. You can also like play cards at a certain location which will make them think you're going to do something in the future, and then like totally switching it up to throw them off, and maybe thinking they have an edge, so they'll snap and then get like shafted. There's even like strategies in like having a deck that has like a surprise like turn 5 or 6. So your opponent is like ahead in the first 4 rounds thinking they have an advantage and more likely to snap, and then like blowing them out in the last 2 turns to like totally catch them off guard and like steal all their cubes. There also so far seems to be like a lot of counters in the game to stop like certain decks from getting too oppressive, and a lot of like different tech cards for like certain annoying things you hate running into, or like certain things that would counter your deck. And the other cool thing is that with only 12 cards, every card seems like it matters more. Also, swapping even a single card can feel impactful because you are very likely to draw it every game. And I guess like the more nerdy argument to why I like the game is that I really like these like Marvel characters. And so far it feels like every character is actually like important and actually does something that like makes sense for their character. In most other card games I play, there's like a certain number of cards that are just like straight up unplayable, and it almost feels like they're printed to be bad on purpose. Like all the heroes and villains in the game that you're familiar with have a cool effect that feels like right for the character, and is at least strong in its archetype. Like out of every card I've seen, literally every single one except for I think this card, Cyclops, has felt like they did the character justice and made like a really like fun and sick card to use. My only like real issues I have with the game are not even like that bad. The most important problem in this game right now I think is the fact that you can't choose a specific card you want to unlock. Like having it be random can feel really bad if you're just like missing that one card to have a really fun deck. Like waiting and doing daily missions to hopefully have fun in the future is just like not a good feeling. It almost feels like chores. Like I haven't experienced that yet myself, but it seems like it's a very scary possibility in the future. The good news though is from what I've seen they understand this, and they're coming out with these like collector's tokens in the near future they said, and they'll come for free when leveling up your collection level, and they'll let you choose like specific cards you want to unlock, which should negate my main issue with the game, and so I hope it does come out soon. And so a smaller issue I have with this game is that there are these things every week called hot locations, like right here. There's a hot location like this every Sunday. And so during this hot location, this location will have a chance to pop up 60% more than all the rest. And so people end up queuing decks that are like favorable into it. But if the location has like a very clear deck that does the best with it, then the games can feel very repetitive. They also have these like featured locations on Wednesday and Thursday. And I think it's when they add a whole brand new location to Snap, which is kind of cool. But it's for an entire 2 days. And so those Wednesday and Thursday locations only have like a 40% chance to show up, whereas the hot location on Sunday has a 60% chance. But again, that means it's still going to happen pretty often, and it can just feel like the games are more repetitive than normally. At least with the new ones though on Wednesday and Thursday. Since it's new though, at least there'll be like some theory crafting and experimenting to like kind of figure out the best deck for the new location. But since it lasts for 2 days, from my experience, people usually kind of figure it out in like the first day. And so usually by 2 everyone has it figured out, and it's like kind of the same thing where like everyone knows like the best strategy to do. And yeah, it's just like not the best in my opinion to have like games feeling pretty repetitive. And the cool thing is that there are ways to actually counter this if you don't like it. There are certain cards in the game that can either just straight up counter what enemies are going to be doing once you like learn what they're doing. So if people are abusing like a certain strategy, there's probably like a card you can put in your deck that will have a really good chance of beating it. And there's actually like a few different cards that will just change the location to something else, either random or like specifically something. And so people are trying to abuse a strategy and you just like delete the location or like change it to something random, then at least it can like get rid of their edge. And so it's definitely a minor complaint, but I do technically prefer like normal days where it's like equally random and the games feel more unique. And so my final thoughts about the game is that I really enjoy it. It's super addicting and rewarding when like you play well and build your deck well. And yeah, maybe I'm just a nerd, but I personally love like so many of these different Marvel characters. And it's just like really fun and addicting to keep trying to push my collection level and hope that I unlock like one of the really cool characters. Like personally, I'm looking forward to unlocking Daredevil, Thor, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Venom. But yeah, just like a really cool feeling. Oh, another really fun part of the game is this thing called card splitting. That's like the maximum form of upgrading your card. And so I'll explain how to like upgrade your cards right now. And yeah, so when you unlock a new card or like unlock a new variant, it'll start off gray, this border right here. And then yeah, once you choose to unlock it, it'll actually turn to uncommon. And then you can choose to unlock it and it'll go to rare, which is blue. Then you can do it again, it'll turn epic, which is purple. Also, when you turn it blue, you actually get like this 3D effect, which makes it seem like it's popping out of the card, which is really cool. Then it'll be purple, and you can upgrade it to legendary. And legendary will give you like this orange border. And I believe it makes like the logo shiny. And you can upgrade it to ultra, and then you get ultra, which is like this shiny red border. And then once you have a card to ultra, the next upgrade will be to infinity. And then yeah, once you hit that like upgrade, which I already did on Spectrum, you'll actually get a new copy of the card. It splits the card and you have a new copy of the card, and the difference is that the background will actually be like this rainbow effect. There's a couple different ones I think you can get at first, and this is one of them. And it actually starts off as a gray border. Then what happens is that I upgraded it all the way again to max quality and split it again. And then so once you split it a second time, you get like this extra effect added onto it. Like see there's all these like shiny dots. And you still obviously get like the rainbow background. And so as you continue to keep doing this, like unlocking it all the way and splitting the card, you end up with higher and higher odds to get like a really rare split. And these ones can have like gold backgrounds. And there's even like an Inkify effect where it can turn things like black and white. Oh, by the way, one variant I got, which was like random from the season pass, it has this really cool effect where it's almost like it's like an old-timey like movie or something. And yeah, I don't know, like this part of the game is just really fun for me. I really like the idea of just making my favorite cards like pimped out and like look really cool and like differentiate my deck from other people. And so it feels really rewarding to play certain cards a lot. And so yeah, I think that's basically all I wanted to say. I really like the game and I plan on making some videos for it. I'm not gonna like quit my Runeterra videos, but I want to try to do both. Again, I think the only real negative to the game of not being able to choose specific cards is being fixed very soon. And again, you could like whale out and like advance your collection faster, but it doesn't really do anything since you're just gonna play like better players or like play people with a higher collection as well. And so I'm not that incentivized to pay. Like, I'm just basically paying $10 a month if I like the season pass and like having a lot of fun and getting a lot of cards. And yeah, so many Marvel characters are just super cool to me. And so like getting all these variants and like cool effects on the cards to play with just feels really fun. And it's like really addicting to like push them even farther and get them looking even cooler. I do like the surprising amount of depth to the game and like outplaying opponents to get the maximum amount of cubes. And the location system actually seems to like avoid what a lot of other card games have problems with, which is like inevitably getting like a stale meta. But the random locations make every game feel unique. I think I've only played for like 3 weeks now, so I really hope my opinions don't like drastically change all of a sudden. But I really just don't think it's gonna happen. The game just feels so fun right now. And yeah, I really hope you guys try it out. Yeah, I think that's it for me though. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Or maybe even like the video, it really does help me out. And yeah, thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time.